Hello Booktube. Today for Tag Tuesday, I will be doing the quarter year book tag. This tag was created by Royson's Reading and is one of those perennial book tags that we make every year that looks at our reading for a certain length of time. This one is relatively new. I think it was first created last year, but has made quite the splash. So I'll leave a link to Royson's original video in the show notes down below. Question number 1. How many books have you read so far? So far this year, I have read 117 books, and I bailed on, I think, 17 books, because I bailed on one yesterday, which I think was the 17th. I think, yeah. So now I'll talk a bit more about like what all I've read in the genre question. So question number 2, have you already found a book that you think might be a 2023 favorite? If not, what was your favorite book? And so the end of this question refers to star ratings, which I don't give, so I'll leave that out. Although when I leave the questions in the show notes, I'll leave that one in. So far, as far as history is concerned, my favorite is Vanguard by Martha S. Jones, with A Distant Mirror by Barbara Tuchman being a runner-up. As far as fiction's concerned, there's really only one book I can put here because there's only one novel that I've read and actually liked, and that is The Seven Moons of Mali Almeida by Shihan Karuna Talaka. All other fiction except for The Trees by Percival Everett I have bailed on. So this year is not one for fiction, as it has been the past few years too, but anyway, I'll get to that in a sec. And as for in poetry, I don't think I've read any new poetry. Because I don't quite remember if the poetry collections I picked up from LSU I read in late. No, I think I did them this year, but I don't know if I necessarily see any of them have been my favorites. And as far as manga is concerned, I really liked volumes 20 and 21 of Eden Zero by Hiro Mishima, volumes 2 through 5 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and volumes 2 by Gege Akutami, and volumes 2 through 11 of My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi, which blew me away, absolutely blew me away, and I will talk a bit more about that in another question as well. Question 3 is so the worst book I've read so far. Let's just say that. Well, I haven't really read any history that's been bad. There are some that I've reviewed that I maybe took to town, but they weren't necessarily bad. There were a few things about them that annoyed me. So history, not so much. There was The Trees by Percival Everett, which I didn't like, although really that should be more the bails. So what book was the worst that I bailed on? A whole bunch of them, actually. So I guess I'll just go with The Trees and leave it at that. Prompt number 4. Most read genre so far. So far in 2023, the genre I have read most is manga, shonen manga. I started the year reading the entirety of Fairy Tale by Hiro Mishima, which is 63 volumes, and I have also read volumes 20 and 21 of Eden Zero by Hiro Mishima, Volume 17 of Tolaban Hanako-kun, Volumes 2 through 5 of Jujutsu Kaisen by Gege Akutami, My Hero Academia Volumes 2 through 11 by Kohei Horikoshi, Volumes at least, I think 15, 16, and 17, or 16, 17, and 18 of The Seven Deadly Sins by Nakaba Suzuki, and Volume 3 of Nabari no O by Yuki Kamitani. I think that's all of the manga I've read, which is quite a bit. I mean, it is well over 50%, if not closer to 70%. I've also read some poetry, not as much as I did last year. And then it'd be like history and then fiction. And I'm not entirely sure about the proportions on that. But it's been a lot of manga. Question number 5. A book that surprised you. A book that surprised me. I have to say My Hero Academia by Kohei Horikoshi. I did not expect to love that series as much as I have. I read the volumes 2 through 5. I mean, not 2 through 5, 2 through 11, and while I'm reading them, I am absolutely transported to that world. I am not in this world. I am in that world. It is just reading those volumes. It was an amazing experience, just absolutely amazing, and I did not see that coming at all. And I mean, and to a lesser extent, like Eden Zero and Jujutsu Kaisen and Fairy Tail. Although Fairy Tail does have its moments. But man, My Hero Academia. On a more depressing note for surprising, I guess I'll do that at the end. Like some additions to this tag at the end. So, question number 7. A book that's come out in 2023 already that you want to read but haven't yet. Assyria by Eckhart Fromm. It came out last week, and I have it. It's going to be hauled at the end of the month, and then I'll get to it in early May, hopefully. But I'm really looking forward to that one. Also, the last Kings of Macedon and the Triumph of Rome by, I'm blanking on his name, that one, and quite a few other books, depending when I get to them. Which I really ought to make like a new and forthcoming books video of books that I'm really looking forward to picking up. But I never do make those videos. Question number 8. One goal you made that you're succeeding at. None. Except for buying more books, I guess. Well, okay. The one goal I did have for my 2023 reading was to read all of Fairy Tail by Hiro Mishima as the first chunk of reading that I did in the year, and I did succeed at that. And I had a wonderful experience with it. Absolutely. So I'm looking forward to doing that again. I don't know necessarily if it'll be like another block read where I read the entire series in one go, or break it up across the year. But that's one reading goal from 2023 that I succeeded at. My other reading goals, my other reading projects have failed miserably. Absolutely have failed miserably. In book buying, I think I wanted to have a bit more of a mixed book buying, but it's still very history heavy, which is okay. I'm enjoying it. Although I probably will kind of compensate with more manga in the next few months. But my two reading goals of my two reading projects have completely failed, and I'll talk about them here in a sec. And then the final question, new to you booktubers, bookstagrammers, booktokers for 2023 you recommend. I don't know if I've actually subscribed to any new booktubers lately. And if I have, they're not coming to my I'm not calling them right now. So I'm going to punt on this question. So one of my biggest disappointments so far of 2023 is how two of my reading projects have completely and utterly failed. And that's my 12 TBR, which was a reading project in which I selected 12 novels, 6 fantasy, 6 literary fiction, and that have either languished on my shelves for a few years, which were mostly the fantasies, or that I've picked up relatively recently, and wanted to get to relatively quickly, which were mostly the literary fiction. And of the 12, I read 2. I liked one. I didn't like the other. I bailed on 4. And then I did try a chapter tag of the final 6, of which I don't want to read any of them except for Tomb of Sand. So, yeah, a disaster. And then my other reading project was the 10 Contemporary Classics I Must Spell Redeem, which was inspired by a triptych of videos created by Katie Books and Steve Donahue, his version of the last of those videos. And of those 10 books, there are 10, I have 7 of them. I've gotten to 4 of them. I'll talk about the 4th one with weekly reads. And of those 4, they are Bell Redemption rejections, which is what it is, I guess. So I don't know if I'm going to try the other 3 that I have, or just do a try chapter tag and see if I even want to continue with them, and then just cancel the rest of the project. So I need to figure out what I want to do with that. I was thinking about maybe doing that today, but I think I'm going to go ahead and start on Genghis Khan and the Making of the Modern World by Jack Weatherford. And then come back to figuring out what I want to do with the rest of the 10 contemporary classics I must spell redeem. Which I guess I could make a separate video about that. We'll see. Anything else? I think that's about it for this tag. So anyway, BookTube, if you would like to do this tag, consider yourselves tagged. I will be back in a few minutes with another video in which I will talk about my library, because I've been meaning to talk about my reflections on my 2023 library tour and how I want my library to change in the coming year. And if you're wondering why I didn't make a video about book prizes, which I was talking about over the past few weeks, I thought about it, and I don't know necessarily if I'm really the best person to talk about it, because while I guess I could talk, regarding the Kindle, in which case I can definitely, I really have discovered so many authors that I never would have without the Kindle. Regarding fiction, I don't think I'm really the best person to talk about it or to booster book prizes in that way, because I really have not caught on with fiction for the past few years, and this year is looking to be pretty bad as well. So, anyway, BookTube, I will be back in a few minutes. So until then, thank you. Have a great rest of your afternoon and stay safe.